Wow, it's been a minute. Dang. Well, welcome to the Book Lovers, wait, no, the Chaotic Book Lovers podcast. We are back for our spring segment or spring season. And this spring, I want to focus on writing. So, this entire season is going to solely focus on authors and writing, which, if you are a reader, this does not mean you can't listen, honestly, because I feel like this also just shares like a kind of a process when you read your favorite author's books, like what goes into it, what are the details behind it, all that good stuff. I feel like if that's what you're definitely interested in, then most definitely listen to the episodes of what is it, season 4? Hold on. Let's see what season this is. Because I'm pretty sure it's season 4, if not season 5. Which, if it's season 5, then that's actually really scary because where has the time gone? How did we have all, like, how do we already have, like, 5 seasons? So let's check, let's check. Let's go. And it is. Yeah, this is like season 4. Okay, so we're good. So, season 4 will be solely focusing on like the difficulties in writing, the truth behind writing, and the things nobody really talks about when it comes to writing. And therefore, I want to start this episode with something that nobody really talks about, which is the diversity in book formats, okay? So, what I mean by diversity in book formats, which I don't mean like, oh, skin color or culture or something like that. I mean literally book formats, like not the book itself, book formats. So, something we often see with books is that a lot of times they're translated into different languages. And, that's a good start. But what about the other things? Like, what about black pages with white lettering, which can actually help some people read better than if it was white pages on black, white pages with black lettering? Or what if it was large print books, like for people who need large print books? So that's why when I wrote my book, I was determined that I was gonna have at least translate it into 2 languages, or more, and I'm also gonna have like different types of book formats. So, when you're writing, that's another thing that you like want to think about. It's not as urgent when you're writing. It's something more to think about when you're finished writing and everything like that. But I definitely want to bring it to like the attention of everyone today. How would it be like a really cool thing to settle into this, like to start off the seasons for episode 1? And there's only 10 episodes in per season, so I want to make the most out of it. And I definitely want to start off our season strong. Keep you guys enthralled and loving it, which I quite literally love this series, so I want you guys to love it, if not more, wait, as much or if not more than I do myself. But let's just go ahead and get into it. So, first thing that a lot of people don't even know exists, but there's a group of people who do, but large group of people don't even know this exists. People will have books that are printed with black pages and the letters are white. Now, for some people, this may just be a cool feature or something that you find to be like a special edition of like your favorite book. But some publishers or some authors will intentionally do this, like their book normally, and then they'll have it on like the black pages with the white lettering. And the reason why is because it's actually easier for people to read it that way, which I also think is why dark mode is an option for a lot of apps, because it's easier for you to read things that are like on a black background that have white lettering. I don't know the reason behind this. I'd have to do my research, but I first found this out through one girl on a video that I saw, and she was like, "Thank goodness, I found a book that's like this. It's so difficult for me to read on white pages with the black letters, and the black pages with the white letters actually make it 10 times much more easier for me to read." And I thought about it. I was like, that's like, I never thought about it like that. Like, people actually struggle with reading on the white pages. So it's like I said, it's something that not a lot of people talk about. But in my research, not on the specific thing that like causes you to have to read on like the black backgrounds, like the dark backgrounds, with the bright words, but I know like this is a common thing for tons of people where it's actually really hard for them to what's the word, comprehend, read, or less. It helps them read faster, better, and they can actually comprehend um what's the word that I'm looking for? They can comprehend it better. Like it's easier for them to read when it's on a certain color page. So that's like something you don't hear a lot of people say. Like, let's be like, let's be real honest. Okay, when have you ever like walked into a bookstore? Like, let's just close our eyes real quick, right? When have you ever like close your eyes and visualize, by the way. Imagine you're walking into a bookstore and you are the person that needs the dark backgrounds with the white lettering or the bright lettering on a book, and you're searching high and low, and you cannot find anything, which means you go home most likely empty handed. Unless you're like getting something from like the Starbucks or something. You go home empty handed. Now, let's close our eyes and visualize once again. Let's imagine you're just a normal reader who can. Hold on, let me think of a book that's around right now. Finale. We're going to use Finale by Stephanie Garber as our example. And let's say you're looking for Finale, which is the last book in the Caraval trilogy. And so you walk over to the young adult section, and your biggest concern is it the Barnes& and Noble exclusive edition? Because it doesn't matter to you if the book has white pages and black lettering, because it doesn't necessarily affect you. But let's once again visualize as the person that needs the dark backgrounds and the bright lettering. Let's say you are the person that wants, a copy of Caraval or Finale, and you walk into Barnes and Noble. You go to the young adult section, and you're not worried about if it's the Barnes and Noble exclusive edition. You're not worried about is it signed. You're not worried about any of that. Let's say you've been reading the entire series on Kindle, and maybe Finale has been like your most anticipated read since you finished Legendary, okay? And you've been wanting to read Finale since forever, and you thought since it's gonna be a special moment for me, and I'm finishing off the series, and I want to go buy Finale, and I want to read the physical copy. What do you think your biggest issue is gonna be? I'll give you a moment. If you said your biggest issue is going to try and find a copy of Finale that has dark pages and bright lettering, then you are correct. Because the copy I have with me right now is a copy I got from Barnes& Noble, my local Barnes& Noble. And I've also been to other Barnes& Nobles, like in New York. I've been to a few in New York, and none of them carry Finale with dark pages or white lettering. And I'm 99.9% sure they aren't even printed in dark pages, unless like you get special editions or something. And I'm pretty sure the special editions are just the sprayed edges that are colored in black. So I want you to think about how difficult that must be for the reader, and maybe you give it to like, oh, they can buy it as a book trophy, or like, what's it called? A bookshelf trophy, a book trophy, reader's trophy, whatever. You buy your physical copy as a trophy, and you just read it on your Kindle. I mean, come on. I know I have a few Kindle readers. A lot of my audience may use their Kindle or they may use their phone or their iPad and read on their Kindle. But you cannot tell me that even when you don't read on your Kindle, when there's a certain book that you really want, you don't want to read it through your Kindle. You want to have the physical copy in your hands. You can't do that. Some people cannot do that. So now we're going to do another visual, but I want to go over this next thing real quick. Large print books. Oh my goodness, large print books. Okay, so with large print books, these are for people. I'm pretty sure it's dyslexic. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to go back and look. If it's not, please correct me in the comments. But some people cannot read the normal size fonts on a page. Like me and you can, okay? Like me and you, yeah, we can read the tiniest. Well, I don't like to read the tiniest fonts, but I can stick it through because I'm able to, but I just don't like it because it means the book is 10 times longer than it should be. But me and you, let's grab another book, for example. Let's see, we're going to my favorite book, for example. My favorite book ever, Powerless by Lauren Roberts. So I have my paperback here. My paperback and the hardcover. I got the paperback from Waterstones, if anybody's curious. I'm pretty sure. No, because I'm so mad because I know, we're going to sidetrack real quick, but I'm so mad because I bought my paperback from Waterstones, right? I paid extra for the shipping from the UK because I wanted my paperback so I could add it to my little selection, my little thing on my shelf. And the second it got here, Amazon made it an option to get the paperback of Powerless and Reckless and Powerful. See, now you're just playing games in my face because I have Prime, so I got the shipping for free and got the same result. And plus, that package got rained on, so make it make sense. Amazon, please don't play games with me because every single time I tried it here in the US, nobody had it. And the second I got it from the UK, you wanted to have it. Okay. But anyways, back on track. Let's say you want to read Powerless. You've heard everybody talk about it on Book Talk, and you're so curious. You want to read it, right? And you're like, okay, um, I want to find it in large print, right? So you go and you start high and low. So let's close our eyes and visualize. This is the part that we're going to visualize now. So you walk into the Barnes and Noble, right? And I don't know where this is sectioned actually because every single time I go to Barnes and Noble, it's always on display. And I know right now it's definitely on display because Fearless came out last month. So yeah. I don't know where this is sectioned. I'm pretty sure it's sectioned in young adult. If it is, it's most likely. Oh dang! I don't know how Barnes Noble like sorts their books. Like I think it's like fantasy and romance. Like romance is on one side, fantasy is on the other side. Like for my Barnes Noble, whatever. Let's just pretend that it's sitting right beside the Light Larks. Light Lark's always on display too. Okay, dang. Let's pretend it's sitting beside the Caravel series. Right, the Caravel trilogy, and Once Upon a Broken Heart. And you go and you're walking to the young adult section, and you're looking, and oh, there's Powerless by Lauren Roberts. You've been waiting to read this all year because you've heard everybody talk about it. You saved up all your money, and you want to go now. You got to the Barnes Noble so you could have the experience of purchasing it and walking out with it and reading it, right? So you go and you grab your copy. Lo and behold, tiny font. Or normal font, normal font for some people, but to others it may seem extremely tiny and it's hard for them to read it. Hard for them to read it. So let's say, you're like, okay, goodness gracious, well, you have to have a large font of this book somewhere, right? So you're like looking high and low, you ask the people at the desk, and you're like, hey, do you perhaps have Powerless by Lauren Roberts in large print by any chance? And they're just like, no, sorry, like we don't have it. Pretty sure it's not even in print. I'm sorry, we can't do anything for you. The most you could do is buy it on like the Nook, which is like I'm pretty sure it's like Barnes and Noble's like Kindle, or whatever. I'm pretty sure you can like get it on the Nook and just like change the font size to like whatever your preferred font size is. But we don't have the large print. I'm pretty sure it's not even in print. So I'm sorry, sweetheart, and you have to go home with your head low because you really wanted your physical copy that you could read the physical copy. You could read on your Kindle or your Nook. It doesn't matter. You wanted the physical copy. You want to flip through the pages. You want to read it. You want to experience it. You want to be immersed in the story. And now you can't even do that. You can't even do that because a lot of companies, a lot of publishers, a lot of authors don't think about certain people who have to have certain things like we said before, the dark pages with the bright letters, or like now the large print. So we're gonna do the visual because we get two visuals for the other one. So the second visual, let's say you're just a normal shopper. You can read any font. The font doesn't bother you, doesn't matter to you. Nope, it's quite literally okay. So you go in and you go buy the Caraval trilogy and you find Powerless, the most anticipated read of the year, right? So you pick it up. You look at it, you're like, oh, the font's pretty small, but I can read it. I can manage because I'm able to read this. And you check out with your head held high. I mean, come on, like we all deserve the same reading experience, okay? Everybody just wants to enjoy the book. Everybody just wants to enjoy the book. Can we have that or can we not? Honestly. So, yeah. Another thing that we could really hit on is like the multiple languages when it comes to my phone's like going off. Whoever's blowing up my Instagram, I appreciate it. Love you. But like we can be like, okay, like let's say we want to get 𝙎𝙤𝙘𝙞𝙖𝙡 book, right? We're gonna say checkmate, for example, right? And you can just go online, search up checkmate Espanol, 𝙎𝙤𝙘𝙖𝙡, and it will come up, and you can buy your physical copy. I mean, I'm pretty sure they even have special editions. Guys, we have special editions of checkmate in Spanish, but we don't have large font or dark on white for checkmate in English. I mean, low key, like, I'm not saying, like, oh, if you're Spanish, like, you don't deserve this. Doesn't matter. I'm like, no. Spanish people deserve, like, people who read in Spanish or prefer, English could be your first language. You just prefer to read in Spanish, right? You can be American and just prefer to read in Spanish, because maybe that's what you're studying, and you just want to, I don't know, maybe just prefer to read in Spanish, you know? So, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're going to include one, please include all. So I'm pretty sure this like literally oopsies. Oh goodness gracious, my candle just fell. I have a sticky buns candle because you guys know I love powerless. But I'm pretty sure that's like it. I don't have anything else I want to hit on today. I just like really want to point that out. It's just like goodness gracious, goodness gracious. This needs to be talked about like immediately. Pronto. Stat, y'all. And I feel like I put it across pretty well in under 20 minutes, but by the time I finish this outro, it's probably going to be 20 minutes. I didn't want to remind you guys that I have an Instagram because you guys know my book comes out this summer, July 31st. It's a YA clean fantasy thriller, not thriller, but mystery, YA clean fantasy with mysteries. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of words to describe the book. And it's about two girls who are from two completely different backgrounds. They both find out they're part of the royal family, and they join the castle. They come live there, but it turns out all the cards are actually against them. So I have to break the curse, and boom, shakalaka. What? What mysteries will they find? What will they do? How will they solve it? I mean, you're just going to read it to find out. And pre-order's actually up. If you go to my description down below, it has an Etsy link. And right now, this is I'm selling it because I'm not publishing through Amazon. I'm publishing and printing through something else. So pre-orders are up now, only on Etsy. But when it gets fully printed, it'll be up on other platforms, hopefully, and then we can, do that. But if you want to pre-order, I'm doing signed, personalized pre-orders, and I'm also doing not signed, not personalized pre-orders up on my Etsy right now, and that's all I'm doing. I'm only doing physical copies right now until I can figure out how to get. Y'all be like, this girl just sat here on a 70-minute rant talking about how you this, that, and the third. Y'all, I promise, there will be what's it called? The ability to read it on like your phone, and I do plan on getting like the dark on bright pages and in different languages and large print, but I'm not doing that until publish day. It's probably gonna come out like a week or so, depending on like how long it takes the printing to be, but it's gonna come out not too long after the release date. I may put up pre-orders for that stuff if I can get it out early enough, but it's a longer process. But I'm gonna get it out because I'm not sitting here doing an entire rant about diversity in book formats just to be hypocritical and not do the diversity in book format. So I will say that it's coming. I don't know when, but it will be this year, a little bit after, just a little bit. Not until not like it drops in July and the other stuff drops in December. No, like that's it's coming. Promise y'all. And yeah. And I will say the ebook, you will have to pay like 10 like you'll have to pay the same amount as a paperback. And the reason why is because as of right now, I'm doing it as a file, and it's really easy for like people to pirate files. And in that case, if you're gonna pirate my files and do something illegal with my copyrighted stuff, I'm gonna make my profit. Okay. mind you, it's copyrighted and it's illegal to pirate. So if you're pirating books or going onto any websites to read books for free, just know that it's a crime. You're not supposed to do that because it's copyrighted and owned by the author, and the author did not consent to any of that. And it's illegal because it's actually stealing from the indie author or the very popular author that makes tons of billions of money. It's a crime, so don't do that, y'all. Just, your little reminder, just not to boycott not to pirate books and not to read pirated books, not to read books on free websites unless it's the author's website and there's literally a link where you can read it on the author's website, that kind of stuff. So, that's all. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode soon. I'm pretty sure in the next episode we'll be talking about, let's see. Oh, sorry, I took a sip of water. We'll be talking about the things that authors do not talk about when it comes to the writing process, so stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. And then try to get as many episodes as I can out in May because I do want to have it organized so that way the summer season can come out in, the summer, which is August. So we're gonna try and get as many as we can out this month and next month. And yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna see you all soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Many out kisses. Mwah. Many out and goodbye.